What's up? This your girl Queen J on What They Saying Tarot. Look, class, we're gonna have to call the discussions board meeting. So we're having a sit down, sipping chat, smoking chat. Call your mama, auntie, cousin, brother, granddaddy, sister, grandma, all your relatives. We got to sit down and have a chat. Okay, the reason why I'm calling this meeting today is because it's gonna be two valuable terms in your life that you are going to come across besides your spirituality. Because it's a lot of people that have a lot of questions like, where does your spirit go as far as after life, and as far as what happens to your spirit when the flesh is tired. One of the important terms is evolution, and it means the gradual development or change over a period of time. After we finish this meeting, you're gonna know how all this fall together, so you just gonna have to take the time and listen. So we get real over here. Everything over here is 100% real. So if you feel like this ain't for you, you might as well go on and exit out and not make room for the next person. The next term gonna be revolution. A turnaround, a sudden complete, or a radical change in something. Now, the reason why these are two of the most valuable terms that you're gonna hear in your lifetime, mind you, I said here. These are going to be the two valuable terms because all the time you hear in life how you supposed to do this, how you supposed to do that, how things supposed to be done. It's more of a traditional thing, right? Okay, so let's just go ahead and get straight to the point. Okay, between 0 to 17 years old, that's your absorbing stage. You're born, you start school, you make friends, you graduate, right? Cool, we got that part. Between 18 to 24, that's your learning stage. You're getting a job, falling in love, getting married, having a baby, right? Now, between 18 and 34, that's between the time of your choosing your spirituality, like dibbling and dabbling, figuring out what's for you, what ain't for you, testing the waters. Okay, between 25 and 34, that's your retaining stage, traveling, stuff like that. Putting your mark in the world, going around, meeting new people, doing new things, etc. From 35 to 44, most people typically divorce around that time. Between 45 and 54, that's the effect stage as far as prime example, health. Between 55 and 64, that's the acceptance stage. Between the times that you plan to retire, the times that you plan to make a will, and between 65 plus are the final outcomes. So the final outcome will be death. The reason why we having this discussion right now because with the point of evolution, the gradual development or change over a period of time. So people between the ages of 0 months and 17, you in your absorbing stage. So again, I must say, you learning things around you. So you absorbing, like you don't know what it is exactly you want to do. So that's your evolutionary stage because you're going through so many different transitions in life. So all this resolves and results around numbers. So from the ages of 0 to 65 plus. When you 0 to 17, your main focus is just, okay, being a kid, starting school, making friends, graduate. That's your only focus. You absorbing, you programming yourself. Okay. 18, 24, the learning stage. That's when the lessons come in as far as, okay, I'm an adult now. once you become an adult and you actually like sticking your feet in the water as far as getting your first job, falling in love with somebody that you meet, getting married, having a baby. So in between that time of you learning lessons, going through things, heartbreaks, whatever, I mean, you got to understand between the 3D and the 5D, it's always going to be some type of spiritual warfare going on. So that's part of the evolution as well, because you have so many people being born in a day. Nobody's the same age. So you got to understand, every day somebody born, every day somebody pass away. So in between the ages of 0 to 65, these are the things that you're going to have to focus on. From 0 to 17, born, starting school, making friends, graduating. From 18 to 24, you getting a job, falling in love, getting married, having a baby. In between that time, shit, spirituality choices. From the times of 25 to 44, traveling, retaining stage, and processing stage, and divorces. As far as the effect stage, the effect is basically the first process of your life before you get to 45. So everything that you do between 0 months to 44 will affect your stages of life from 45 to 65 plus. And the reason why I say that, because whatever you do as far as making choices or whatever you choose to do, you got to choose to either do the right thing or not do the right thing. What works for you or what ain't going to work for you. The revolutionary part is, with all these things, from you going through a absorbing stage, a learning stage, a spiritual choice stage, a retaining stage, a processing stage, a effect stage, a acceptance stage, and a final outcome stage. The revolutionary part about it, a turnaround. So in the process of your childhood is when you deal with the most traumas, because those are things that you can't control. So it's like it could be things, people, places, whatever around you in your absorbing spirit. So you got to think about it. Between 0 to 17, what tragedies happen in your life as a kid? Because it's going, whatever tragedies or traumas that you have from 0 to 17 will affect you from 18 to 65 plus. Because after you've been a child and absorbed all this time, and it's time for you to become an adult and learn a new system and way to do it on your own. I mean, you gotta have faith, or you can be a believer or a non-believer. However, it's a choice in between there, whether you choose to be spiritual or be on a spiritual path or not. Between that spiritual path time, I mean, you gotta think about it. From 18 to 34, that's a big gap. So between the ages of 25 and 54 are the times where people really have the most regret in their life, to be able to say, okay, well, in the process of the evolution, this such and such and such happened, whatever your story may be. Then you have to look at it as, okay, the revolutionary part about it. How, from the good things and the bad things in your lifetime, because nobody's life story will be the same. It's some people probably was born, didn't get to go to school, didn't make friends, didn't graduate. These just some examples. So if we gonna be real about it, we can be all the way real. So that could be some absorbing stages too. Having parents and shit that didn't graduate, didn't have all these things. Shit, it's some kids that were not born. Some people got rid of their kids. So in the absorbing stage, shit, you learning how to be an individual. So you absorbing right now. Whatever it is somebody trying to teach you, you absorbing it. It doesn't mean you understand it, but you absorbing it. So in between the 18 and 24, shit, the average person get a job by 16. Or it depends on your age, whatever the case may be. But shit, everybody can't say that 18 years old they got a job. Or 18 years old they fell in love. Or 18 they got married or had a baby or whatever, because times have changed. People is kids having kids. You feel me? So in that learning stage, everybody didn't have a good mother figure or a good father figure to be able to teach them the right steps. Okay, well, after you graduate school and you make friends and you start your first day or whatever, you're going to have to get a job when you turn 18. You're going to fall in love, you're going to get married, you're going to have a baby. Every average parent ain't gonna tell you that between the ages of 18 and 24. Shit, you not really gonna know that you have spiritual choices to make if you not really absorbing any of that or having a foundation. Everybody don't take their kids to church. I'm not saying you got to go to church to be spiritual. You get what I'm saying? You can talk to God anywhere. Y'all hear me say that all the time. But my point, I say that to say this, because you have a choice whether you want to be on a spiritual path. Because you're traveling in life, you're meeting new people. This is between 18 and 34, you in the meeting stage. Because you're meeting new people, you're going places, you're traveling. Average person to be traveling, going on cruises and doing all kind of shit. So once you done got that fun streak out you, like once you done got that monkey off your back with the traveling and wanting to go places, you can't expect everybody to get on the bandwagon all at the same time in order either. So that means, that goes to say, just because you a certain age don't mean that you meet the criteria that is required. So between all these stages and being in the 35 to 44 stage, as far as 25 to 44, when you traveling and in the processing stage, so you meeting new people, you figuring out what it is that you really want, and the divorce stages. So when you get to a point that, oh, okay, well, I thought I had wanted something, but I changed my mind. I don't want it no more. I want something new. So it's like you don't really know what it is that you really, really want until you get like 34, 35. You can say, I want consistency, I want this, I want that, but you are what you attract. So that means in the evolution, as far as whatever age you are right now, we don't have time to waste to get it together, because you got to think about it. You was 0 to 17 at once. What were you absorbing at the time? Did you have positive role models around you at the time? Positive leaders, teachers at the time? So that goes to say, that's the most vulnerable age there could possibly be, from 0 to 17, because if you ain't around the right people, how you know they're teaching you the right thing? From 18 to 24, you in the learning stage, so it's like, okay, yeah, might hear a couple people like, oh, I've been scammed before, or all they do is fraudulent shit, or whatever the case may be. Experiencing things. So you experience a lot between 18 and 24. So as far as from your child development years to your adult years and transitioning, by that time frame, you already done decided what friends you still gonna deal with after high school, who's not gonna see who again after graduation, like who's still gonna be high school sweethearts and get married and have a baby and travel the world, and like what you're gonna do with your life. So the question is, between 0 months and whatever age you are, from 65 plus, what have you absorbed? It could be negative or positive. What changed your life from 0 to 17 in your absorbing period? In your learning stages, what experiences did you have that let you know that you're becoming an adult? Because I mean, it's more to life than getting a job, falling in love, getting married, having a baby. Between the ages of 24 and 25, what was your experience like with spirituality? From 25 to 34, what is your retaining experience like? Because anybody can listen to somebody, but are you retaining anything? Can you recite what somebody tell you to teach somebody else? What have you learned in the process of you traveling, experiencing love, getting married, having a baby? It leads into a testimony. What story do you have to tell? As far as you getting a divorce or staying married or whatever the case may be, happily ever after, whatever. From 45 to 54 is the true effects in life. So whatever you did from 0 months to 45, 54 is going to affect you. If you drank a whole motherfucking lot, if you smoke, do drugs, any kind of motherfucking drugs, whatever you do, party a lot, steal, cheat, kill, whatever. Whatever you did a lot will affect you and your health. So then you got to realize that, okay, how can you leave a legacy, which is supposed to be a revolution, a turnaround for the new generation, 55, 64, when you in your acceptance stage of retiring and making the will? What do you have to leave behind? From 65 plus with your final outcome, what was the changes that you made in your lifetime? Because we sit here every day. I mean, we cut the shit, we bullshit, we do the readings, all this extra shit. I mean, it's all entertainment. It's all entertainment. But what can you say that you had to leave a legacy behind? Because we all are here to make gradual developments or change over a period of time. But if we figure out things that don't work for us, what is the revolution in that? A turnaround point. What can you say that you did in your lifetime that made a turnaround point, either for these kids that you had, for a marriage that worked or didn't work, a friendship you had to cut off, a distant lover, whatever? How can you relate the evolution? Shit, it don't have to be any of my examples, but if you look at your life from 0 to 17 in your absorbing stage, and 18 to 24 in your learning stage, between 24 and 25 in your spirituality choice, 25 and 34 in your retaining process, 35 to 44 in your processing stage, 45 to 54 in the effect stage, 55, 64 the acceptance stage, 65 plus final outcome, death. So I mean, it's obviously known that we are born to die. Even though energy, time a motherfucker have a baby, boom. Time it got an open vessel, it's starting to cycle all over again. Everybody don't get a chance to come from a past life and start a new one. Everybody just thinks that eventually, oh, okay, we'll get a chance to come back. We'll be something else. It's all right. We kick the shit next time. See you next lifetime. The question is, what you gonna do in this lifetime? So shit, that was the evolution and revolution chat for today. I appreciate y'all sitting down in the board meeting. I mean, I got some little readings coming up later, but hey, if it's for you, it's for you. If it ain't, it ain't. Have a good day.